Arts in Motion in partnership with Rolex.
It's day 2 of rehearsal. So Trisha Brown Company has commissioned me to make a new work. This will be the 3rd commission that's happened for the company, and it'll be presented at the Joyce Theatre in New York. The possibilities, they're endless possibilities. I mean, I was a kid in the 80s, and Janet Jackson film clips was amazing to me, and I wanted to be Janet's backup dancer. I still do, Janet, if you're watching. Making up dances in the lounge room with my friends, and I feel like I kind of always danced. I'd never really kind of even entertained the thought that I would be a dancer of the Trisha Brown Dance Company, and let alone be personally kind of mentored by her. It was a big deal. I was a young dancer. I think I was 27, 28 at the time. I was a dancer for several choreographers for, a good, 6, 7 years before I decided that I was kind of ready to make my own work. The first opportunity I had was to create a solo work. So there was a lot of hours spent staring at the wall, wondering what to do and how to begin. Finding a reason to kind of move, or that's still a really kind of tricky moment even now. Yeah, I was fully panicked, but it happened. It was good, I think. Well, people told me it was good. My solo work is in some ways biographical. I'm often looking back and then using that to kind of embody and then produce movement of a certain quality. I never kind of set out to go through this kind of torturous process in order to, elicit any kind of, deep sadness or anger or anything. I suppose it's less extreme. I still get nervous occasionally, particularly if I'm performing my own work. It's not an autopilot thing, like I'm not just kind of switching off and doing the steps. Particularly if, there's improvised elements to the work and things like that. You need to be really, hyper engaged, and that's when a little bit of the audience kind of shutting out happens. I hope that they're in the dark and then they don't know. As an independent artist, you never know when the next gig is. And there's a constant, applying for funding, and there's more no's than there are yeses. For a long time, it can be hard to make a living as a dancer, and, for a long time I've had part-time jobs on the side. Yeah, there's been a lot of times where I've thought, okay, well, what would I do if I wasn't dancing and choreographing? But I don't know. I still don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with it. Yeah, you have to be a little bit obsessed, I think. There's always doubt that creeps in. But for me, doubt is like an important part of the process as well, because it allows you to really interrogate what you're doing and question things and the why. I remember having a conversation with Trisha about, and I said, have you ever in your career had those moments where, you've wanted to stop, a period of not being inspired to make something? And she said, well, you just keep going, you just keep working. You don't stop. Absolutely, it's worth it, keep going. Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going.